I never intended to leave Earth. My name is Alec Wren, former mechanical engineer and reluctant interstellar diplomat, though the latter came about purely by accident. One moment, I was fixing a faulty thruster on a mining drone in Earth's orbit, and the next, I was being pulled through a spatial rift by a gravitic anomaly. Space is supposed to be silent, but I remember hearing something like a whisper, like a call. I woke up in a bioluminescent jungle, under 2 violet moons. The air was rich with oxygen, though it carried a strange, sweet scent, like overripe fruit mixed with ozone. Towering plants with leaves the size of hovercars bent over me like guardians, and bioluminescent spores drifted lazily in the air. I should have panicked, but something in the air dulled that instinct. I was alive, had oxygen, and I wasn't alone. The first creature I saw looked like something out of a fever dream, 10 feet tall, lean, with iridescent skin that shimmered between dark blues and obsidian blacks. Her eyes were large, golden, and slitted like a feline's, and they were fixed on me with a strange mix of curiosity and something else. Something deeper. She spoke in a language I couldn't understand, but I felt her voice more than heard it, vibrations resonating in my chest. Soon after, others arrived, less imposing, armored in glistening exosuits, but humanoid in shape. They carried energy spears but made no move to threaten me. Instead, I was guided, gently but firmly, through winding paths of glowing flora and floating stones, until I reached their city. If you can call it that. It was like someone had fused technology and biology into something utterly alien and yet beautifully harmonious. Towering structures pulsed like living things, feeding off sunlight and exhaling soft plumes of mist. Suspended bridges of woven light connected floating platforms, and I realized I had landed, or been brought to, the heart of an alien civilization unlike any known to humankind. They called themselves the Thorali, a matriarchal species of extreme intelligence. They were composed of several castes, warrior, drone, and queen. I would later learn that the one who first found me was none other than their queen herself. Her name was Zerathii. 4 days, maybe weeks. Their days weren't Earth-length. I was observed. Not imprisoned, not questioned, just observed. I was given food, a surprisingly sweet, energy-rich paste derived from their flora. I learned rudimentary words, then full sentences, thanks to a neural interface device they eventually grafted to my neck. Non-invasive, but enough to synchronize basic linguistic patterns. That's when things changed. Zerathii began to visit me. At first, her presence was ceremonial, flanked by guards and veiled in ritual. But soon, her visits became private and longer. She asked questions about Earth, humanity, emotions, war, and love. I answered truthfully, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. She was fascinated by human individuality. The concept of falling in love, something chosen, not assigned, was revolutionary to her. In Thorali culture, queens selected mates based on biological compatibility and strategic genetics. Emotion was secondary. But with me, something different was blooming. And it wasn't just curiosity anymore. I saw it in the way her tone softened. In the gifts she began to bring. Bioluminescent flowers that pulsed in rhythm with my heartbeat. Crystals that sang when touched. I felt it in the way she lingered after each visit. One evening, beneath the pale light of the twin moons, she approached me without guards. The air shimmered with heat, and we stood in a garden that hummed with life. She reached out and placed her palm, 4 slender fingers and a thumb, against my chest. Your pulse. It stirs the song of the stars. That was the moment I knew. I wasn't just a curiosity. I was something more. Alec, she said, her voice like a purr wrapped in thunder. I have studied your people. I've seen the violence, yes. but also the beauty, your capacity for loyalty, for sacrifice, for love. He nodded. And her golden eyes glowed brighter. Will you be my mate, human? And blinked. Not because I didn't see it coming, but because even with all the signs, I didn't fully believe it. You're asking me to be your mate, like live here, with you. Her mandibles flared slightly, a gesture of openness. Yes, in our bond we become more. You will not be subordinate. We will be equals, joined in thought, in spirit, in life. I hesitated. Back on Earth I had nothing. No family, no real connections. My job was my identity, and even that had become hollow. Here I had purpose, chance at something new, something extraordinary. I stepped closer, placing my hand over hers. I will. She leaned forward and her forehead touched mine. A psychic surge, like a rush of memories, emotions, colors, and dreams, flashed between us. We were connected. And then everything changed. The mating ceremony was unlike anything I'd ever imagined. It wasn't just physical, it was spiritual, mental, metaphysical. We stood at the center of a living spire that reached toward the stars. Then Thorali sang a haunting, resonant melody that wrapped around our bodies like threads of light. Zerethei's consciousness wove into mine. I saw her memories, her triumphs and regrets, her longing to evolve beyond her species' limitations. She wanted to unify, not just her people but others. The universe was fractured, ruled by fear and division. But with me, an outsider, a human, by her side, she believed change was possible. And I believed her. Together we began to implement new policies. Xenobiological alliances. Integration of Thorali empathy training with human psychological models. Trade networks, diplomacy efforts, even outreach to neighboring systems. Some factions resisted, of course. Traditionalists who saw me as a contaminant. A few even attempted assassination. But Zerethei was powerful, and her people loyal. Over time I gained acceptance. I wasn't just the human. I was the consort prime, an emissary, an innovator, a bridge between species. And despite everything I found happiness. Real happiness. Until the Earth delegation arrived. 3 Earth years later, a manned exploration vessel stumbled upon Thorali space. They came in peace, thankfully, but were shocked to discover a human not only alive but thriving. I greeted them with Zerethei at my side. Their questions were endless. How did I get here? What had I done? Why had I chosen to stay? But the unspoken question lingered in the silence. Were you brainwashed? Are you still one of us? I wasn't sure how to answer that. One night, I walked alone through the glowing forest, haunted by their words. Part of me missed Earth. Its simplicity, its messiness. But I knew I could never go back. Changed. Evolved. Zerethei found me there. They want you back, she said, voice low. He nodded. They think I'm lost. And are you? I looked at her. The queen of a species billions of years old. My partner. My equal. No. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. She embraced me then, her arms strong, her heartbeat syncing with mine. Let them think what they wish. You're not lost, Alec. You were found. Years passed. Decades, perhaps. I stopped counting time the Earth way. Our bond grew deeper. Zerethei and I became a symbol of love beyond biology, of unity beyond fear. Together we ushered in an era of expansion, peace, and innovation.